We appreciate everybody for joining us this morning. We have quite a large group, so I'm going to wait a minute to lock out the class. Normally we lock out the class just before we start delivering content, so I will go ahead and wait a couple of minutes before I do that. My name is Megan McFall. I am the Regional Director for the Small Business Development Center down here in Southeastern Utah. I am excited to be able to deliver this information for you this morning. We appreciate our partnership with Grow with Google and the opportunity they give us to have essentially an inside look to how this information works for you guys, and to be able to deliver this to you in such a unique way so that you can hopefully be able to utilize this information to help develop and grow your businesses. I appreciate the partnership also that we have with the Rural Online Initiative, as they are our co-hosts for these events. If you do not know what the Rural Online Initiative is, if you are joining us, go ahead and put in the chats or in the comments whether you've completed the ROI program. What the ROI program is basically a certificate that teaches you how to better work remotely. It was a focus that started here in Utah with the partnership between Utah State and the state of Utah, actually, the legislature. I actually took it about 18 months ago. And I thought that I was an expert in remote work, right? I had a business that I'd worked for years remotely, an e-commerce business and things like that. And I thought that I knew everything there needed to be known. The reason why I took the class was that way I could tell people from my center here what it was, and that give them more information about it. That way I would be more knowledgeable. What I learned is that I wasn't as much of an expert as I thought I was, and that it actually taught me a thing or two about remote work and the information that it has. And it was very informative. So if you are looking for a work from home, a remote work, an opportunity to work from anywhere type of a situation, I highly encourage you to take that certificate. It takes about a month to complete that, with both some self-paced stuff and some live, or I should say some Zoom type classes once a week. But it's a lot of fun, and I encourage you to do that. It looks like we have somebody on here that has not completed that. That's awesome that we kind of have a mixture of both. I know that there's some that are and some that have not. So that's really, really cool. So let's go ahead and get started this morning. This is what our agenda is going to look like this morning. Okay, we're going to talk about advertising on Google, improving your ads on Google, measuring your success, because anytime you go into anything, you want to have a way to measure or what you want to accomplish. And then last but not least, we're going to talk about recapping what we talked about today, and then obviously the resources that are available. Okay, next thing we're going to talk about advertising on Google. So let's talk about why you might want to do that. How Google ads can help businesses, large and small. 49% of shoppers surveyed said that they use Google to discover and find new items and products. That's a large percentage. Okay, 59% of shoppers surveyed said they use Google to research a product they plan to purchase before they either buy it in stores or online. Those are some big numbers. If you are a business owner, you want to know numbers like that, because they have a big impact on what you do and how you do it, right? So if I know as a business owner, because I own business, obviously, as I develop my marketing techniques, the reason why I want to be on Google, and I do this myself. When I go to buy a new car, say, or if I go to buy a new washer or dryer, anything like that, I go to Google and find out what people are talking about. What is the best rated item, right? We go and we want to know, because if we're going to invest into something, we want to know the information. Is anybody else like that? I hope I'm not the only one. I don't think I am with those numbers like that. Okay. So how Google ads work with search. So somebody wants to find something. Okay, I'm going to use myself as that example. So if I want to find something, I go to google.com, find the search bar, type in what I want. Okay, I search to find it. Okay, businesses bid for the opportunity to show me relevant ads. Essentially, that's the idea behind the Google ads. Okay, ads appear in the Google search bar. If you ever notice when you Google on search, the first 3, 4, sometimes 5 up at the very, very top are actually ads, and they'll say ads at the very, very beginning. Those are ads from businesses that have paid to be there. If you click on that, that'll go to something that either is relevant to the keywords that you typed in or the picture that you put through, whatever that might be. But for some reason, Google has tagged that ad to match what you're searching for. So that is essentially how ads coincide with the Google search. Okay, there are many ad formats: text ads, image ads, shopping ads, dynamic search ads, call only ads, and video ads. These are essentially the top 6 types of ads within Google. Okay, the way most Google ads work, what we're going to talk about in this workshop is pay-per-click ads. And this is where advertisers pay only when the searchers actually click on their ad. Okay, that is a very, in most cases, cost-effective way for advertisers to specifically target what they want and only pay when they actually get somebody that is interested in their product. Now today, we are going to go through and figure out what's best for you, and walking through, obviously, you're taking this for your business probably, or you're trying to do ads. So what I would like you to do is go ahead and sign into your Google account. If you don't have a Google account and need to link your business up to a Google account, we will be doing that class next. Normally, I do that class very, very first. And I found out that we kind of need to do that one last because I'll have people pick up classes along the way. And then that's the next question. How do I do this? So I did that class last. If you do not have your business hooked up to Google yet and have Google My Business and get your analytics and all that stuff, insights and all that stuff for your business, take my Google class, how to get your Google on Google Maps and search, and your Google profile, or get your local business. Sorry, I changed the title. Get your local business on Google Search and Maps. It's on the Eventbrite page, so it's coming up here pretty quickly. So go ahead and take that class, and it will show you. We'll go step by step the process. But go ahead and log in. In the top right corner, you have a Gmail account. You already have access to all of this. Go ahead and log into that. If you have a business and you work Google Workspace with your business, I encourage you to hook everything up to your Google Workspace. That way it's associated with that email account that's associated with your business. Okay. So once you're logged in, we're going to go to g.co/ads. And it's going to bring you up to this page. Because you're logged in, you should have your icon in the corner. Something that we've noticed now that we have a lot of kids were doing virtual school and things like that, they all have accounts as well. And so sometimes computers are switched over to their account. Just make sure that you check that corner, that it's your icon in the corner and not your children's. We had a couple of problems with that earlier in the year. So once we go to this site, you're going to click on Start Now, and you're going to follow the prompts in order to add your information for your business. Okay. By default, Google Ads will walk you through essentially the ad campaigns by starting an ad. You can do a quick start or a system automated managed ad. Those are the 2 different types that you can do for smart campaigns. Okay, enter your business information. Very simple, very easy. Then step number 3 is add your website. Enter the location of your site where people are going to click after or click when they click on an ad, or they might not want your website as your homepage. So think about this. Like for example, for my business, I own a wealth management firm. And we do classes, and we use Google Ads to market those classes. If I am doing an ad for a Google class, I don't want them to go to my homepage for my wealth management firm. I want them to go to my events page where they can register for that class. Or I might want them to go directly to that class rather than seeing all of the events. I might want them just to go to the landing page for that event. So be thinking that through of what event you actually want them, or what page you actually want them to go through, making it as simple as possible for the user experience. Again, it goes back to the user experience. The fewer steps your client or guest has, the more likelihood they are to follow through, okay? Then you're going to write your ad. This is where it gets really important to think about. It goes back to that thought about SEOs and keywords. This is how Google is going to line things up with that Google search. So you have up to 3 headlines and then 2 description lines. Okay, this is where you get the opportunity to add your keywords, your categories, your tags, all of those opportunities. And this is where you can maximize your ad dollars by taking all of those things into account. There's an optional option here as well, is by having a clickable phone number. Why would you want a clickable phone number? Well, 90% of people, especially down in our area, run off of their mobile device. We are down in a tourism area, and most of our businesses, for example, are tourism related. If you have a tourist coming into the area and they're trying to find your restaurant, for example, and they would like to know if you make reservations or how late you're open or any of that information, and you were running an ad to attract tourism or tourists into your restaurant for a early bird special or whatever you could be running for that specific time, if you have a clickable phone number and they're on their mobile device and they're able to make a phone call very easily, very quick, again, going back to that user experience, that is a very, very powerful marketing tool for your business. So be thinking about that whole follow through for your business. Okay, the next is adding those keywords and themes. Okay, themes should be relevant to the advertisement of the product or service that you are putting up. Okay, and then the theme should match also your ad to the related searches. So the thinking, a lot of people will think about, we talk about this in SEOs. They think about very basic what your business is searched for, your basic keywords, right? And that's great. You want to start there, but then take it to the next level. What is the next level under that? So a lot of people are going back to my own business. So wealth management, right? So we think about investments, we think about life insurance, we think about annuities. Those are very basic. Take it to the next level. Financial planning. Think about what about credit reports. Think about all those next level items that don't automatically come to you when you think about wealth management. You want to take those, think how many levels deep you can take your keywords, and that's how you're going to attract those additional people. But also, whatever's in your ad, you have to keep it relevant to what's in that ad. So keep that in mind. If you put additional ones that aren't relevant to the ad, it will actually penalize you, and you don't want to do that. Okay. Next, describe your location. Describe where your ad can be displayed. The options could be like a zip code, cities, regions, or near the address. So if you have a brick and mortar, you can do it near your brick and mortar store. So like in this particular example, well, they did within a radius of a specific address, which worked out really, really well. So you can do that, or you can do, like, for example, a zip code. A zip code will cover a very defined area per the postal code. You know, different things like that. You can think of different ways that you can define what area you are going to market to. Okay. Step number 7, set a budget. Every time you go into an ad, you want to make sure that you have a budget in mind so that you can put that and define that. You can always expand your budget. Say you have an ad that's working extremely well and you want to expand that budget because it's working so well and you're getting your ROI. So eventually, so if you start with one budget, you could actually add that or expand that ad. That's fine. But always start with a budget with every single ad that you do. Select a budget recommendation that or enter your own. So Google will give you a recommendation of what they think that you should use, or on that far side, you can see a spot where you can actually enter your own. Okay, see an estimated amount of daily clicks based on that budget, and then you can change, like I said, or pause this at any time. Now, a lot of people ask me, why would you want to pause an ad? Well, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, it might do so well, it might overwhelm your business. And I hope it does that for you. And you might need to pause it just because you need to catch up, or you weren't prepared for it to do so well. You need to wait on inventory or something like that. You might find a situation like that. And that's an incredible situation to be in. And I hope that happens for you. Another such circumstances, you might put an ad up and it might be a complete dud. It might not work at all. And it might be a waste of money to continue on with that ad. So you can go in and pause that ad, make corrections to that ad. It might not have the right keywords. It might not have a good description within that ad. You have the opportunity to go in and make those adjustments. Those are reasons why you might want to pause that ad, so that you can make sure that you are getting the best return on investment you possibly can get on whatever money, both good and bad. If it's a good ad and you're not ready for that, pause that ad so that you can get ready for that ad, and then go ahead and continue on so that you don't waste those clicks, right? If you are on the flip side, if it is not doing well, you do not need to continue on that campaign. Stop that campaign, pause that campaign, make adjustments, see if that works, put it going a little bit longer, see if that works. Doesn't work, adjust the target, and then try it again. A big part about making ads is adjusting your targets, adjusting your descriptions, adjusting keywords to find that target audience. It takes a little bit of time, and that's what might happen with you as well. Okay. Finish up. So last but not least, before you hit finish, you want to review your campaign and to make sure that it looks exactly the way you had it in mind. Okay. And then once that, you want to enter your payment information, obviously, and then set up optional conversation tracking or conversion tracking. Sorry. As you go through the process. So managing your ad campaign. These are things that you want to be looking for through your insights. And your Google Ads, it'll give you insights. It'll show you what you spent, how many impressions, how many clicks, things like that as you go through. And so you're going to want to manage that and keep a really close eye on that. So you want to review the performance of every ad as they're going on. Now, some people do this themselves personally, and other people hire marketing firms to keep track of this. But essentially, if you are doing this for the first few times, I encourage you to keep track of this on your own until you have essentially got a really, really good idea of what it does for your business before you send it out of house. The reason why I tell you that is that you need to know what that marketing firm is doing and is hitting the right targets. If you don't know that personally, then they could be telling you anything that they want, and it might not be actually getting you what you need. You might not be getting the best ROI. So make sure you know the information and know how it works and know how it impacts your business before you send it out of house, so that you are not being taken advantage of in any way, shape, or form. Okay. So the next thing is edit the keyword themes and search phrases for the ads. This is where you can also edit your ads, write additional ads, control where the ad appears, and manage the ad budget. So this is a great place, and essentially your home base, your dashboard for your ads. Okay. Compare ad options or compare campaign options. So there's two types of campaigns. So there's smart campaigns, excuse me. There's smart campaigns, and then there are search campaigns. And obviously they use different options. They use different amounts of labor for them. And so they're going to cost a little bit different as well. So I actually have a handout that I'm going to drop in the chat that has this table on it, so that you can see the differences between the two, so that you can decide which is best for your business as well. Okay, transition to expert mode. Okay, once you've ran several ads and you have a really good idea of what's going on, then you can transition into an expert mode within your ad, your Google ads. So when you go from a smart campaign, you can go into your navigator and do a new campaign, and you can switch over to the expert mode at that point in time. Okay, create the search campaign. This is the second type. The first type we went through was the smart campaign. This here we're talking about is actually the search campaign. Right? And then this is basically is going to select the campaign settings. You're going to set up the ad groups that you're going to market to, and then as well as create your ad, review your ad, and then ultimately launch your ad. Okay. Those campaigns are more detailed. And if you're very first starting out, I encourage you again to become a master at the smart campaigns first before tackling the expert mode in search campaigns. Okay, improving your ads. So let's talk about text ads and what's in them. So you have 3 headlines. In those 3 headlines, you have 30 characters max. So if you are working with a marketing firm, you're going to want to know that, so that if they are creating your content and it's matching up so that you can have your ads match up with your social media, you're going to want to know or let them know that you're creating ads. Even if they're not pushing your ads, you're pushing your ads personally. You need to know that that's 30 characters max if they're going to write the information for you to match up with your social media. The next thing is the 2 descriptive lines. Each one of 90 characters max. Again, another thing you want to know, if they're writing the content that's going to go in there so it matches all of your stuff, so it has all the same tone, that's another number that you're going to want to know for them if they're writing your content for you so it all matches together. Next is the one final URL. Again, where do you want them to go once they click on your ad? Choose the most relevant page on your site that the client, based on your ad that you're putting out, will find the most information. Excuse me, I have a tickle in my throat. Okay, so text ads. Excuse me. Text ad, a great ad is relevant to the search query. So when you're creating ads, think about what your customer or ideal client is going to put into the search bar in order for your product to come up. Okay, be relevant. So is it going to be spices versus buying specialty spices? Where would it fit into? Think about your personal business and how it fits within that. Okay, include keywords into your ad text. Again, it goes back to that search engine optimization. It should match up with your website. It should match up with all of your other marketing efforts. If it does not add up, if you're not working that SEO aspect of things, then we're missing a key element to what's going on. Okay, and last but not least, inspire action. Call now, order today, for a limited time only. Those type of words get people to move forward quickly, and it gives a sense of that it's for a short period of time, right? That they need to hurry to do it. Something that's, as a creature of habit that we are, if we think that something's going to be available forever, then we will move slowly. So if you put a time frame on something and then you're going to take it away, all of a sudden we have a sense of urgency that we need to move quickly, and we need to either purchase or call or whatever that looks like for your business. So put a time frame on it. If you're running a sale, put it out there. Let them know that this price is only good for X amount of time, whatever that looks like. But if you're going to take that away, put it out there, show them how pretty it is, what it looks like, and then pull it away. All of a sudden, it's a different picture. It's a different item for them. Okay. Okay. Improving your ads. Here's some other key tips. Okay, create focus in the ad or your ad groups. Write simple yet enticing ads. We like to get very, for lack of a better term, very flowery with our words and very high descriptive with our words. And sometimes that'll turn off our buyers. If that is not our key buyer, then sometimes that is too much. We want to make sure that we're including our keywords, but at the same time, sometimes simplicity is better, and that we are enticing our buyers that way. So know your audience very, very well. If your audience is not a flowery, very descriptive type of a person, don't do that. It's a waste of time and might be a waste of money as well. Keep it simple. It goes back to that KISS mindset. Keep it simple. We learned that the hard way when it came up to the titles of our workshops. We thought it would be really cool and have these really cool fancy titles, and they flopped. We changed it to basic titles, and we all of a sudden had lots of people. They don't necessarily want all of these flowery words and descriptions. They want the basics, and they want to know what's there, and it wants to be very quick so that they can eye it very, very quick. You have 15 seconds to grab somebody's attention, 6 to 15 seconds. That's it. Okay. Test multiple ad variations. Find out what works the best for your audience. You might have one that works really, really well, but you might have one that works incredible. So try those different variations to keep things moving and to keep things fresh, but also to find out what works the best for your ideal audience. Next, regularly review your ad performance. On a regular basis, know what your ad is doing. Check it out in real time. Know that you're getting the best ROI on your money, because I don't care how big your business is. I don't care if your marketing budget is $1 million or $100 a month. You still need to get the best ROI for your ad revenue. Okay, keywords, search phrases for smart campaigns. Accurate keyword theme generates relevant search phrases. You want to make sure that you have the right ones there. So if you look within your reports, it'll tell you which key phrases are giving you the best search results. So on the screen, it's going to show you, and it's too small up there, I can't really see it. So it's going to show you the phrases that you've put and you've used. It'll also show you the impressions that it gets and the clicks that it gets as well. So going back to the spices that we used earlier, they use these 5 keywords. So if you look at essential spices, it has the fewest impressions. It has only 839. And so some people are going to think, well, I don't want to use that word because it doesn't get as many impressions. But look at the clicks. It got 96 clicks. It got the highest number of clicks. Impressions doesn't automatically turn into clicks. You've got to do the numbers. You've got to see this true picture of what's really happening. So another one is they put in a Chicago Spice. Chicago Spice got 21,000 impressions. Okay, that's a lot of impressions, but it only got 23 clicks. So it got lots of eyes on the product, but didn't get a lot of return on investment, right? And so that is a really, really important thing to look at to see which one or which phrases that you're using are going to actually do a return on investment. So just because essential spices only got 839 impressions, it got such a higher rate of clicks. It's the higher number. It goes back to what their ideal client is really looking for. And that is the search phrase that their ideal client is looking for. Those people are ready to buy. And those people are the ones that are clicking on their ads. Okay. So matching the types of search campaigns. So for example, when we talked about taking it deeper, right? So These are some different ways that you can use words within your campaigns to expand what it means. So using the word spice, if we just hop spice, it's very broad, right? The ad may show in searches, it can be misspelled, different things like that, right? If we do spice with quotations, it's a phrase. Ad will show up in searches that match this phrase or close variations. If you put it in the brackets, it has to be exact. Okay, it can't be misspelled, it can't be a phrase, it has to be exact. Okay, and then it has girls on there, it's a negative. So like, for example, if you don't want it to have girls, it has a negative sign and then the girls. And then if anything that comes up with Spice Girls or girls that like spice, it won't show up for any phrases like that or anybody that searches something like that. It prevents the ad from showing up that. So you can really target a very specific group by using these types of symbols within your ads, and you can cut out such simple sectors because you know, for example, you know a specific group of people don't like your product. You can actually take that out so that ads don't show up to them. If you're targeting a very specific area, you can do that as well. Okay. So keyword planner search. This is how a lot of people are, how do I find the keywords to use in my ads? So this is how you do it. Keywords, you can discover new keywords within your insights. Use your monthly searches within your analytics. You can determine costs. You can organize your keywords, and then you can ultimately develop new campaigns based on the keywords that are coming up within your insights and your analytics. If you have all of that connected within your Google My Business and your analytics. Okay, ad extensions. So you can add ad extensions within your ads. Some of them cost and some of them don't. So just be aware of that. Ad extensions expand your ad with additional information. Smart ads automatically offer these following. So call extension, again, we talked about having that number, make it very, very quick and very, very easy for your clients to call you. Site link extensions, and then call out extensions, and then location extensions. So those are the things that you can add into your ads at no additional cost. Okay, more extensions that you can add that are available are price extensions, promotional extensions, structure, snippet extensions, app extensions, and then automated extensions. So those are some things that you can add within. One of the most popular that I'm seeing lately is the automated extension, because let's be honest, we can't be everywhere at once. And so by adding an automated extension, whether depending on what kind of business that you have, will depend on which automated extension that was, it can fill in some of those gaps for you. Okay, measuring success. Like I said, before you go into any ad, you want to know what you want to accomplish, what kind of numbers you want to hit, what do you want to have as an impact for that ad, okay? What is the goal of that ad? What do you want to accomplish, like I said, and then how are you going to measure those results? So basic terminology that you're going to need to know is impressions. How many times your ad was displayed, whether it was clicked or not. How many eyes saw your ad? That's the idea behind that. Clicks are how is when a user actually clicks on your ad. And then conversions is when the click on an ad results into a desirable outcome. And every business is going to be different. A desirable outcome might be a phone call and a booked appointment. A desirable outcome might be a purchase through your website. But ultimately, the ROI for your business needs to be determined. Now, I can't give out slides. I will give you a handout, and then there will be a copy of the recorded presentation on YouTube at the end. So reports in your ad campaign or in Smart Campaign that you can get are simple, very easy, just like your analytics. Or I should say analytics can get kind of, depending on how you have your dashboard set up, can get kind of a little crazy. But you can get these 4 things very, very simply within your dashboard of your Google Ads. So Smart Campaigns offer how many clicks, how many impressions, how many calls, how many conversions. Those kind of things are optional. The way you can get your conversions is if you have, like for example, if you are an e-commerce type of a business and you have that connected through the merchant service. So if you took my e-commerce class, and we talked about Shopify and connecting that with e-commerce and all of that. If you have all of that connected and all of your apps connected within Google, it will tell you how many purchases you had through your Google ad. And it's a really, really great way as an e-commerce business to know what your ROI, true ROI is. Okay. Report. The other reports that you have are your ad groups, your ads, your landing pages, your keywords, and then your demographics. Your demographics are going to be a huge factor as you move forward with your Google Ads. Why is that going to be a huge factor? Well, that's going to help you really hone in and figure out who is looking for your product and your services, so that as you're going in and you're picking a geographic area, or you're picking the different aspects of who you're going to target for specific ads, you have all the data to back that up, and you're able to really, really hone in again and get the best ROI on your ads. Okay. Linking Google Ads to your Google Analytics. Again, going back and linking all of the details of all of the apps of your, all the Google apps together shows you the most information and helps you make the best decision. So if you will link your Google Ads with your Google Analytics, it will show you the details together, and it will best utilize the information. It will show the information on your website, or how many clicks through your website and all of the insights through your website, but also it will link what you see through your ads and show you more detailed results. It will show you the full customer cycle. And if you don't have a customer cycle for your business, it's something that we could definitely talk about, but having that full customer cycle for your business and knowing those details within your ads is really important. Okay. So how to set up your Google Analytics. If you go to g.co/analytics and you create an account, we did this, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. We set this up. I have an entire webinar on it. Go to our YouTube channel. You can watch that. You go through piece by piece. We go over reports and things like that as well. And you set up your analytics account, okay, through there. So a recap, let me kind of give you an idea of reaching customers. And we talk about all of these different pieces. So we've talked about, as we've set this up, the only thing we haven't talked about is setting yourself up on Google My Business. Normally I do that first. This time I decided to do that last, just because I was noticing last year as I was going through everybody, I was picking, or different people were joining the series. They're saying, well, how do I do Google My Business? I did that last to see if that makes an impact. So that is coming up. But if you set up a Google My Business and you come up on Google search and you're running the YouTube channel and you have your map set up properly, and you're doing all of the things that we've talked about, this is essentially what your customer, the journey your customer could go through. So a customer needs a gift, and they're a foodie. And you happen to have a food business, right? So they go on to Google search, searching for this perfect gift. Okay, they read an online review, discover your YouTube channel. Okay, so through the YouTube channel or the online review, they find a great recipe. They visit your website and find your essential spices collection. Okay, through that process, they go through your YouTube channel and they watch your incredible mac and cheese recipe. You've got to hit on YouTube. So you've now watched Google reviews, which we talk about in setting up your Google profile. We talk about, or they've been on your website. Next, they see your YouTube channel. They watch your incredible videos. Next, they go back and they see if you have a retail store. They search and see if they have a retail store nearby. That's on maps. Okay, there's 4 ways to contact the customer. Because you've had so many connections with them, they've been on your website, they signed up for your email, you send them a BOGO coupon and you bring them back for a final close. That's 5 contacts with a customer just through your Google contacts, just through your Google applications. Okay, this is the customer journey through your products. Think about how your business would relate to something like this. Think of how your customer could look through things like this and how it can maximize your relevant sales. Okay, all of our videos, all of our webinars are recorded, and we put them both on our Facebook channel as well, our Facebook page, as well as our YouTube channel. Grow with Google also has an on-demand for these types of workshops, and so you can go and they're all free. Register, and you can go to Google on Air and watch them as well. So if you'd like to expand upon the things that we've talked about. Next, if you would like little 5-minute lessons on business, Primer is a great app to add to your resources for business. And last but not least is the Skillshop training. Skillshops is a training for Google professionals. Essentially, they're tools. It's an e-learning courses for the different applications for Google. So it's a great place to go through and learn more about this different products and applications that Google has. So that closes out that portion of the webinar. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. We are live on multiple different screens, and I'm going to go ahead and do a Q&A. So if you have any, do not leave yet. Let me drop the handout in the chat real quick before you leave. So you have a lot of that information that's in the slides. Oh, whoops. Wrong one. Well, I guess now you have the slides. There's the handout. I totally oops there. I apologize. So there's a handout that goes over the basics of what we talked about today, as well as I guess I brought the slides in as well. So you have those as well. Anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to put those in the chat. If you're on Zoom, feel free to go ahead and ask those live. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook chat pages and see what kind of questions we have over there as well. So, well. Yeah, they should be loading. They come up as loaded on my end. Yeah, they don't come up on mobile. I'm sorry. You can email me. If you're on mobile and you're not getting the handout, go ahead and email me. Let me give you my email real quick. Go ahead and email me there, and I will email it to you. It's probably the best way or the easiest way to do that, because it will not come up on mobile. We've tried that many times. It's supposed to, but we've tried that many times and it won't. So. Anybody have any specific questions? If you're still not getting the handout, go ahead and email me and I'll send it to you that way. I don't know why it's not showing up or not coming up. Okay, so I'm getting a question on one of our live feeds that asks, what's the difference between this and Facebook ads? So the difference, they're very similar in how you set them up and those details. It's just on the difference of who you're targeting and what is best for your business. Your ideal audience might be on Facebook, and that might be where you get your best return on investment. It just kind of depends on who your ideal audience is. So it just goes back to your business and who you're hit. But as far as the setup and how they work, they're very, very similar, and they essentially work about the same way as far as that's concerned. Which is best for your business? It depends on the type of business and what you're trying to accomplish. Again, it goes back to the goals of your business. The Google ads will hit a broader, larger audience, but it might not be your ideal client. So it just kind of depends on what your goals are for your business and whether it is the right fit for it. Are there any other questions? Can you run the same ads on both Facebook and Google? You could. They have slight variations. You could. I don't know whether you would get the best ROI on that. You could test that and see how that would work. Essentially, the idea behind it, just like every social media platform is different. You put different things on Facebook than you put on Instagram, than you put on LinkedIn, than you put on YouTube. All of them are different. The same thing goes for Google ads. They're going to be different because there's different audiences there. And so you want to make sure you're targeting the specific audiences that are within those different realms. So what's the difference between the product ads and the Google ad, the products ads that we talked about in the e-commerce workshop and these ads? They're almost the same. It's the same basic concept. You can run product ads through Google Ads. The difference is how they show up within Google. But essentially, it's the same thing. So if you have a product-based business, you'll utilize the product ads. If you are a service-based business, you'll utilize the regular service. But it's all essentially the same. It's just what will maximize your ad dollar. Definitely. The same concept, the same information that we use today, you'll use within your product ads. You just need additional information like what product it is, the product photo, how much it's going to cost, those types of things. Okay, I think that's all of the questions that we're getting. We're going to go ahead and close out today unless there's any other questions that show up soon. We appreciate everybody taking time out of their Monday morning. I know this is not the easiest time period to pull away from your business. We appreciate that. We will see you next week on Grow with Google. I appreciate everybody that joined us this morning, and you guys have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week at 9 a.m. Bye-bye.